Hello and welcome to Culture Shark, a live stream about all things pop culture. I'm Final Monkey,
And I'm Caleb.
and you better watch your back because that sound you just heard, it might just be an invisible predator up in the tree about to put three little laser dots on you. We checked out Predator Killer of Killers, which is an animated film that was released this past summer on Hulu. And then Caleb has checked out Predator Badlands, and he's going to give his review for that later on. So let's talk about our experiences with the Predator franchise up to this point.
hmm
I-
Yeah,
I'm
because
pretty. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was I was gonna say for both of these films, I think that it's very important to know people's place on uh like as far as Predator goes, because I think you get two camps, right? I think you have people who like a movie that came out in 1980s that's called Predator,
Hmm.
then I think you have people who like the Predator franchise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. So I've seen probably 85% of Predator. I don't know if I've ever seen it all the way through, but I've basically have seen it.
Okay.
I've seen all the Arnold versus Predator stuff, and so. And I know how. I think I've seen the ending of part two with Danny Glover, where they give him the gun and all that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much my experience with Predator, other than reading the plots on Wikipedia. I'm, it, it's not the type of movie I'd usually watch as a kid. Probably wasn't
Mhm.
allowed to, if I'm being
Right.
honest. So, um, yeah. So I'm not like the. I like the characters. I'm just not as well versed in Predator as other people are.
hmm And by other people, he means me. I'm very well versed in the
Yes.
Predator franchise. Um, I honestly, this is not like a Batman or a Star Wars situation where like, oh man, I can't remember the first time I saw Star Wars because Star Wars has just been around my whole life. No, it's the weirdest thing. I really just can't remember when I watched Predator for the first time. Um, I was probably a teenager or something like that. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I've seen Predator, Predator 2, Robert Rodriguez's Predators. Then there was then there was The Predator by Shane Black, Prey, and then of course the Alien versus Predator, both of those movies, the comic books, the video games with Alien versus Predator. So yeah, I am pretty well versed in the Yacha Codex.
So I think the general consensus is Predator 1 is awesome. Predator 2 is, not terrible. And then after that it's a lot of, I think, Predators some people like, but I know people don't like the Predator, and people
Yeah.
are iffy on Alien vs Predator. So I think Prey was like the return to form,
Yes.
and then so we're going to talk about Predator Killer of Killers now. Um how would you describe this animation? Is it 2D assisted by computer, or is it just computer animation? Or
I would label it arcane light.
yeah, I kind of a little bit Spider Verse ish. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Spider Verse kind of started it, that technology, and then gave it to everybody,
Yeah.
and then everybody's kind of refined it since then.
Yes, definitely, definitely. I mean, like, at this point, I think that's one of the most important things whenever you're making an animated movie. Because, like, I mean, best animated movie in the past 5, 10 years maybe is K-pop Demon Hunters, and I mean that plot is not complicated. Um, but I mean, it's got that Spider Verse animation, but it's better than Spider Verse animation because it's refined. Uh, so yeah, I definitely think that Spider Verse started it, and now like you get stuff like Arcane, this K-pop, that one Puss in Boots movie that people keep telling me to watch also has this animation, which is really funny to me.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was a little bit more of the Shrek animation, but yeah. Um, so yeah, it's that type of animation, and we'll just do a quick non-spoilery. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. Predator, Killer of Killers. Uh, the plot is we're dealing with 3 different time periods of people on Earth dealing with different predators, and then there's a story at the end that kind of brings the 3 of them together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really liked it. I think it was faithful to the lore. I would say, it is respectful to the lore. There's a lot of remakes and sequels that are not, respectful to the material, but I would say this one is.
Yeah. So for me, this is going to be a weird one because I think I am going to be the one who likes this less than you. Usually it's the other way around. But so this one, to me, this is like Predator Killer of Opportunity.
Okay.
Because each one of these stories, and I like this is always the problem with vignette stories in general. I kind of just would have rather seen the Prey sequel or the Prey prequel that was Ursa and the Vikings, or the Prey sequel that was taking place during World War I, World War II. This one really came off as like just 3 pitch ideas, and they really couldn't decide on one. And then whenever they decide to do Badlands, they're like, well, this is going to be our live action one. We've decided to steer away from an actual Prey sequel, so we'll just do this instead. So and honestly, that real quick, I'll talk about my I'll talk about my initial reaction to the trailer. So we get the trailer for Killer of Killers before we even know Badlands is coming out. And so whenever the Killer of Killers trailer comes out, the entire internet goes insane. They think it looks amazing. I'm the only one that's like, man, I really liked Prey. I wish we got a Prey sequel. This seems like we don't believe in the project, and so we're going to relegate this to an animated film. And then whenever Badlands was announced, I'm like, oh, okay. So we got Badlands coming out. So this is more supplemental material, and in a way, it is kind of supplemental material to Badlands. But after watching it, I was originally right that this is like, we don't believe in this project, so we're relegating it to animation. Because I mean, it's like each of the vignettes are just too short for me. And usually it's like if something's too short, that's a good thing. It's like, oh man, you want more. I think the vignettes are too short to it, and I'll explain it when we get into spoilers. I think these are too short to the actual film's detriment.
So just to add on to that, the one vignette I thought was the weakest was the World War II vignette. I don't know.
100% agree.
Okay.
100% agree. Yeah.
So that was the only one I had issues with. The other 2, I kind of got more caught up in the story and had moments where I forgot the Predator was about to show up. I was just too caught up in what was going on there.
Can we agree that the first one was the best one?
Maybe. I haven't really decided which one. I'd have to think about it some more.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and get into spoilers. I feel like we've,
Yeah. I'm very mixed. You seem to really liked it. I'm kind of mixed on it, and I think that's actually going to be part of my review of Badlands as well, which is I think we have a film. We released 2 Predator films this year. One is for people who like the original, and one is for people who like the franchise.
Okay.
So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So let's talk about the first story, The Shield. This is a Viking set during Viking times
Yes, I believe
about
year 841, I think is the
yeah,
year.
and it's a mother and a son, Ursa and Anders,
Yep.
and they are on. It's basically a revenge quest. She is seeking out a guy named Zoran who forced her when she was a little girl to kill her father.
And
Um,
and her father is a big fan of Red Dawn and said, "Avenge me!"
yeah. the I lost my train of thought. But the fight scenes and this one particularly remind me quite a bit of Blue Eyed Samurai.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
very very similar uh, type of fight scenes. In fact, I wonder if it's the same studio. Very similar art style. Now that I'm thinking about it.
You know
Um,
what? Give me a second, because I definitely was wondering about, because for me the animation was so arcane. I kind of wondered who the animation studio was.
yeah,
Um, the third floor. Uh, oh my god, this was in Unreal. That is awesome. I didn't realize
that's
that.
that's cool.
Let's see. You keep talking. I'll look up what else the third floor has done.
Okay. So each of these vignettes or different time period stories, they have very different predators that they battle, and I think this was the one that was kind of like a giant, I guess would be the best way to describe him. He's huge.
Yeah. Cameron said he looks like Raphael in the new Turtle stuff.
Yeah, and he had kind of I don't know how to describe it, kind of like a projectile that was kind of like a hammer. It hit you with a force wave, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Um, and so the Vikings assault this fortress, and they finally capture Zoran, and he's running his mouth, and then the kid cuts off Anders cuts off his head, and the predator in each of these stories has been sent to kill the killers. So it's been observing, and so it attacks the boy when he attacks Zoran, and then all heck
Hmm.
breaks loose.
Yeah.
So very brutal. The predator, the death scenes are very brutal,
Yes.
and so a lot of this is Ursa trying to protect her son, and uh, she ends up the building starts collapsing. Anders gets trapped under the rubble, and Ursa gets knocked off the cliff into an icy water or lake or something. And so this was cool because the predators they use infrared viewing. So with her hiding under the water, the predator couldn't see her.
Hmm.
So that was fun. It was kind of reminiscent of the first movie with the Arnold covered in the mud and all that.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I think of all of them, this one was my favorite. And if I'm being honest, if we were to decide to expand on one of them to make a full movie, I think this would have been the one um, to make a full Prey. This Prey takes place in like 1700s or something like that. So this would have been like a Prey prequel, essentially.
Yeah. So she ends up ultimately defeating the predator. They have an underwater fight with anchors and chains and all kinds of stuff, and she ends up defeating him. But when she returns to the surface up on the cliff, Anders is dying, and it's reminiscent of when her father died in her arms. And then all of a sudden the scene shifts, and we realize that she's on a space station or a spaceship, remembering all this, and that there's another prisoner in the room with her. So this is our first clue that, oh wait, what happened. Why is she, like she's got some type of collar on and she's been
Hmm.
captured or something. So
Yeah, and that's I kind of deciphered it probably by that point what this was headed towards. Real quick, now that we're kind of into it, I'll go ahead and let you know what I think the biggest issue is with the movie. Like I said, some of these are too short to the detriment
mhm.
of it. Is the original Predator movie, and this is a lore thing. This is for people who like the franchise, and that, like I said, I think that's where this is all coming from. Um, uh, that original Predator is like a jobber. Like this is like he's like not a good one.
Mhm.
um, and so I think the detriment that these things are so short is um, all of these predators are killed way too fast.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, at least they're all killed in different ways.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so that's a little clever, imaginative.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so this first one is pretty cool, little Viking story. Ursa's a cool character.
Yeah,
Um,
she's probably my favorite of all of them.
so the second story is called The Sword, and is about two brothers who are being forced to fight each other as children. The one child refuses to fight, and the other uh, picks up the sword and attacks him. And so the younger brother runs away. Uh, so I don't know if you viewed it this way. I viewed this as Sub-Zero versus Scorpion. Is how I kept seeing these two characters.
I was so I was in a little bit of a different mindset because I was
Uh
hanging
huh.
out. I was hanging out. I went to go see Badlands with my friend Ben,
Hmm.
and I don't remember why he brought it up, but he brought up Snake Eyes. So I got even though Snake Eyes is American, I got Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow from this.
Yeah, so I guess because I kept using the chain attacks, I just kept
Oh, true, true.
picturing Scorpion and Sub Zero before they had their powers or whatever. It's just how it felt
Yeah,
to me.
and it wouldn't be
Uh,
the first time the Predator fought Scorpion and Sub Zero because he
y-
was in
y-
X.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's how I kind of viewed it. And so the story is now the one brother that ran away, he's returned as like a kick butt ninja, and he is invading the castle. There's a set of samurai armor. It's unclear if he's just wanting to prove himself to his brother or if he wants the samurai armor. But ultimately, he's unable to kill his brother. But then the railing his brother's leaning on breaks, and he falls, and that's when the predator decides to attack. Um,
Fun fact: the voice actor who plays Kenji, who is the brother that survived, he actually played Hanzo in Rodriguez's Predators. So this is not the first time he's fought a predator either.
well, that's nice. That's cool. Um, Yeah, I think this one, like you said, could have been longer. I would like to have seen the brother that ran off, more of what he was up to, how he trained, how he got stronger. I felt like that was lacking because all of a sudden he's just like the ultimate ninja warrior.
Hmm.
Um, oh,
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
and the other thing that I think that this could have um, I think what we could have done really well with all of these because the idea is killer of killers, and so the predator's kind of waiting for them to kill each other to see who is worthy. I kind of get that, but part of me almost kind of wishes, like, let's say in the Ursa storyline, like there's a fight between Ursa, Anders, and the rest, and then Zoran's. Um, and then eventually the predator attacks, and then they have to work together to fight a greater threat, almost kind of like a Chronicles of Riddick movie or something. And I think you could have done that. You could have done that um, with all of these. Like maybe the brothers have to put aside their differences while still, you know, wanting to fight each other. They're like, okay, so we got to put this aside. I think that could have led to some interesting stuff as well. But like that's for a longer movie.
Yeah, I think all three of our characters are basically heroic, or some maybe less than the other two. Um, so I think it would have been interesting if they were more shady individuals, like, which I guess was the plot of Predators, that
Yes.
they're not good people. Like it would have been interesting if there was like a peaceful village near Zoran at the beginning, and Ursa's like, "We're Vikings, we kill," they take out this
Hmm.
village or something, and so the Predator sees them that, yeah, they are killers.
Or
Um,
maybe like Torres was like dishonorably discharged, something like that.
yeah, we'll get to Taurus in a minute. Yeah, I thought
Torres felt like a Disney movie.
it felt like a Looney Tunes movie, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Um, so the fight, you find out that the other brother is still alive, and they team up and fight the Predator, and it's kind of cool that they're both, they're kind of fighting each other for at first, and then they both realize, oh, there is a Predator attacking, so they start working together, and yeah, I like that one. So um, the final one, the bullet, is about a guy named Torres who, um, I did like the opening scene where he can't get the car to run, and his dad
Mhm.
is kind of helping, but then his dad's like, "You're on your own. I can't help you anymore." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he hands him the draft letter. I thought that was a cool scene. Like as a parent, I can only take you so far. Now the rest is up to you. You know. Um,
Yeah, it is funny. So I got it wrong twice. Because whenever the shield pops up, I kind of tried to guess who, was kind of the main character. And so I thought it was going to be Anders in the shield.
yeah,
Um,
I thought
and,
yeah I thought Anders was going to be the survivor, and yeah.
and then in the bullet, because I didn't actually understand what was happening yet, I thought it was because I was like, okay, so this is going to be about a parent protecting their child because we just did that with Ursa. So his dad is going to be. It's like,
Oh,
nope, nope, nope. It's John.
yeah, and really the brothers could have went either way, which
Yeah.
one survives. So, um, yeah, so Torres is he just wants to fly planes. He doesn't really want to maintain them and stuff. So there's kind of the lesson, like, that's not all that being a pilot is. You have to, you know, do the mechanical stuff and take care of the plane, all this. And so he's kind of grounded on the aircraft carrier. He's not allowed to fly until and there's a running thing about him trying to get a plane working. His battalion gets hurt by a cloaked ship, but they don't know what's going on. But Torres kind of figures it out that they have these spiked weapons, like these harpoons, and so he flies up there to try to warn them, and then they get in a big fight with the cloaked ship, and then it just gets really silly. it it you know
Yeah.
it's it's weird. There's like a plausibility, like, okay, yes, we're watching science fiction about an invisible alien that has he can see in infrared, and he has a laser beam with three dots that could blow your arm off and all this. Okay, yeah, but this got silly where he started having plane problems. The bomb caught on fire, so in midair he climbs out on the wing and he's hitting the thing. It's just really it's like I was watching Hot Shots all of a sudden. Uh, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's very similar scenes in Hot Shot,
Yeah.
and yeah, it just and Torres was the first one that did not feel like a warrior. He just felt like some goofball, you know, where the first two were, oh yeah, these are killers of killers, and Torres is just like, Forrest Gump all of a sudden got thrown in the mix.
Oh man. So This one probably upsets me the most, not just because of like, oh, I think it's too short, or I think that the predator dies too easily. So the rumored sequel to Prey
Hmm.
was the rumor was it was going to be called Prey No Man's Land, and it was going to take place during World War I, in the trenches, in the bunkers, and so it
Oh,
was
that would have
it
been
was
good.
yes. So it was gonna be a platoon of American soldiers, maybe I don't know. It was gonna be a platoon of soldiers in World War I, having to deal with a predator, and I still want that movie. And so
Hmm.
at first when I saw that this was going to be like a World War II thing, I'm like, okay, we're gonna. That we didn't get Prey No Man's Land, but we're gonna kind of get it for about 15 minutes, and then it was freaking dogfighting. It was
Uh,
not what I wanted at all.
yeah, I mean, it was interesting that we got to see, Predator using their spaceship for
Yeah.
battle. That's interesting. The spaceships remind me a little bit of Samus's ship from Metroid, where it
Oh
looks
yeah.
like her helmet, and the Predator, it looks like their helmet. The
Yeah.
ship does.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this was just goofy. The deaths of the other pilots was kind of cool, but um,
I
yeah,
thought
just
it,
really
I thought
really silly.
I thought the scene where he's talking to his superior officer, and then they're lifted up because they're being attacked, and like we just see the rubble of like the end, like, but this is before the predator, like the rubble and the enemies attack. There's that guy laying on the ground, talking crazy talk, and he's missing an arm. Like all of that was like really cool and kind of like what I wanted from a war based predator movie.
Yeah, I think everything about this was cool except for Torres. Torres and everything he did was
Yeah.
dumb. You take
Uh,
Torres out, this is a better short.
which is funny because it kind of reminds me of I will never not bring this up as an example. It's kind of like whenever like like the Netflix shows with Defenders. So you know, Daredevil was fantastic. Jessica Jones was fantastic. Half of Luke Cage was fantastic. And then right before the crossover, we get Iron Fist, and Iron Fist is the worst one. And then we go
Yeah,
straight into the crossover, and it's like, oh, so Iron Fist is the most important character in the crossover too.
yeah, yeah.
Because in the battle we treat Torres like the most important character.
I mean, I guess because Torres was he could speak English, so he was kind of our character. But who he reminds me of is Jar Jar Binks. In the first in Phantom Menace, he's gonna say stop the war and save everybody, but gosh, he's annoying and it, he's a screwball. I did think it was funny. So let's jump to the last story.
The battle.
The battle. They are brought to a gladiator arena while these predators watching, and there's like Wikipedia calls him the Grendel King. He's like a judge or an emperor or something. This giant predator, and he's like, you all have to kill each other, and then you have to kill me. And they're all given weapons from their time period. So she gets a shield. Um, he gets a samurai sword, and then Torres. I guess it's the gun from Predator 2. Is that what it is?
No, no,
And
he just
doesn't he
gets a
get a
flintlock.
okay?
He gets a
Because that
revolver.
isn't there some weird gun that they give Danny Glover as a gift at the end of Predator 2?
I It's been a while since Predator 2, but I thought it was a revolver.
Okay, maybe it is. Like I said, I've never seen it, so I'm uh anyhow. I thought maybe that was an
Oh
Easter
no,
egg.
oh no, you are right. It is a flintlock. So yeah, that is the gun that he gets. Okay, no, that's fun. I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Which makes sense for something else that is
yeah,
weird.
yeah. So they start fighting. so this is now we're in the Attack of the Clones where they are fighting in the arena with Jar Jar. Well, I guess if Jar Jar was in the arena, but he gets ate by this giant beast. Questions for Badlands: is this creature in Badlands or no?
No.
Okay, so they have to fight this giant creature. Torres ends up stuck inside the creature, but he's still alive. Um, and at first, the Viking and the ninja samurai are fighting each other, but they start working together. So I did like watching them fight the creature. And again, Taurus is just a goofball trapped inside, and he ends up. The creature dies, and they take it out of the arena. Well, Taurus is still inside, which allows him to escape and get one of their ships, kind of like a skiff or a speeder or whatever you want to call it from Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And so he uses that to rescue the other two, and then they go up to fight the Grendel King and try to get into the ship. Yeah, so from there, Taurus gets on the ship, and the other two are fighting the Grendel King. They end up getting away, but the ship gets harpooned, and then the Viking Ursa, she stays behind to cut the harpoon loose. And then that's how the movie ends until we get to the credit scenes.
Which I want to point out. I did a little bit of research. Apparently, originally, that's how the movie ended. The last scene that we saw was added later, and by added later, I mean this movie was released, and then this movie got like a patch.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll talk about the final battle some. Because this sets up the lore that if you defeat a predator, then what is this? This is your chance to become an honored predator among them by proving your worth in the arena. Is that what we're doing here?
I definitely.
Or is this just punishment because you killed one of us? So now you're our playthings. Now you're gonna amuse us, and then we're gonna kill you.
Yeah. If I am being completely honest, I think this is another thing that I have a problem with.
Yeah,
Because I mean, let's go ahead and talk about that last scene because the
yeah.
last scene is the thing that does it for me completely. So essentially, Ursa is recaptured and then re-put into suspended animation alongside Dutch from the first movie,
Mm-hmm.
Mike from the second movie, and Naru from Prey.
And there's an alien also that may be a xenomorph. It was hard to tell. I kept trying to pause and look and see what it was, but it's unclear exactly what it is. But some type of alien creature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So I don't know what is going on here. Are they is this like WWF where they just unfreeze them when they want to watch them fight, and then if they win, they refreeze them? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what's going on. And but it is cool to see all these characters again.
It,
Um,
it's
and
one
it
of those. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are we leading up to like a revolution on the Predator planet where now Torres and uh, what's the samurai's name? I keep forgetting.
Kenji.
Kenji. Are they gonna break everybody out, and then we're gonna have a revolution? Is that going to be live action or a cartoon? Is the next question. I don't
Uh,
know because this morning there was reports that they are talking to Arnold Schwarzenegger about doing something with the Predator franchise.
it would definitely be weird, and I actually have a decent idea as to what it could be, because there was one character. Well, okay, so there were two characters uh,
Mhm.
that were missing from the suspended animation. Um, because we've got Dutch, we've got Mike, we've got Naru. That's Predator 1, 2, and Prey.
Mhm.
Um, we're missing Royce from Predators.
Hmm.
And we know that Royce actually he did he so the plot of Predators is people are dropped. It's one of the coolest opening sequences of all time, in my opinion, where they legit just are dropped, um, and the first scene is Royce waking up while falling.
Hmm.
um, and so it's like the Suicide Squad. These ne'er do wells are being hunted by these predators and super predators. Um, and so he ends up. Everyone else dies, and he ends up getting away, but he's still on this alien planet because they're not on. They find out they're not on Earth; they're on an alien planet.
Hmm.
Um, so that almost makes me think that if we are setting up some sort of crossover movie, uh, that Royce could be involved in that. There's also the Predator. It was Boyd Holbrook's character who ended up getting the Predator Iron Man armor at the end. Quinn is his name. So it's called the Predator Killer Suit, but essentially it's just giving him Iron Man armor.
Was that
Um,
the autistic kid or someone else?
uh, so that wasn't the autistic kid,
Uh,
but it was his dad.
gotcha. Okay.
Um,
It would be fun if they just do an anime sequel to this, and the opening scene is a flashback to when Dutch had to go through this trial, and the other two competitors are Royce and the other guy, and they both get killed in the opening scene, and Dutch was the survivor, the winner.
yeah, I could definitely see that. Um, and honestly, if there is some sort of sequel that involves Dutch, Mike, and Naru, I mean, it would have to be animated, right? Because we've established this is suspended animation.
Unless Arnold has escaped several times and they keep refreezing him, unless they're going to use that de-aging technology. But even then, I mean, Arnold's body is not the
Yeah.
greatest unless they're using a stand-in, like with Mark Hamill and The Mandalorian.
How
I,
good does Danny Glover look? Uh,
I mean, he's up there. He's an older guy. I don't
79.
know. That's why I feel like it has to be voice work. You can't have
Yeah.
Danny Glover running around doing action scenes.
Yeah. I mean, Mike was a LA cop, so it wouldn't be like action for him, because it wasn't even that in Predator 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is one of those things where uh it I almost need a sequel to this just because I need a resolution to the heroes being kept in suspended animation, because I don't like just leaving it at, well, they won and now they're punished. I definitely that's Predator's not really a pessimistic horror franchise.
Yeah. Do you think we should get like one more Predator movie, and that'd be like kind of the wrap up? Like, or do you think this should be a franchise that just keeps going and going and going?
Oh, I mean, I think this is a franchise that just keeps going and going, because if we're talking about Alien also being in this franchise, which we'll talk about that in Badlands, because it is extremely egregious. Not egregious makes it sound bad. Whatever, it's just like there's no, it's not references anymore. It's just the plot, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely part of the Alien
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Which, a fun fact, I don't know if you knew this, that was actually an accident, because in Predator 2, which is where all of the crossovers originate from, is from Predator 2.
Hmm.
Um, Whenever Mike Harrigan goes into the Predator spaceship, all of his trophies are hanging on the wall, and one of those trophies looks to be the skull of a xenomorph.
Hmm.
They didn't realize what skull they were using when they put it up there. So Alien versus Predator was an accident.
Hmm.
And I think that's a lot of fun. But yeah, I definitely think this is I think it's a franchise that goes on forever. You could probably have like Dutch's Last Hunt or something.
So I'm wondering if what's his name, Dan Trachtenberg. I wonder if he's only got like one more in him to wrap up what he has set up here. You know, one final crossover movie and end the stories, or if he's going to be doing Predator movies for the next 10 years. I don't know.
I don't know. It's so. I mean, it's. I think he's the perfect guy
Hmm.
for Predator. I know we talked. So, did you ever see 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Is that the one with John Goodman?
Yes.
Yes, I have seen that.
So he directed that.
Hmm.
And then I don't know if you remember. I think we've talked about this before, and you've said you don't remember it. But I'll ask again. Do you remember um, the concept trailer for Mortal Kombat Rebirth, where like Baraka is like a surgeon who surgically attached knives to his wrists, and uh, uh, Scorpion is just like an assassin who's being hired by Jax, who's part of Metro PD. Like, do you remember that at all?
I don't think so. I get mixed up with the other one where like Baraka was born. He was born with something. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't know.
It is the same thing because it was a reptile that was born with a skin condition.
Okay, maybe it
Yeah,
is. Maybe I have seen it. I my memory's getting so bad.
sure,
I have crammed so much pop culture into my brain that if I don't watch something more than once, I usually will forget it. Like I'm
sure,
sure there's several things we've watched or read on the show I could not tell you the plot of. I know I've
sure.
seen it. So
Um, well, so he did that pitch, which was unofficial. He would go on to uh, he would go on to do stuff um, with Mortal Kombat, and then eventually in the 2020s he would be given the opportunity to do Prey. So like I definitely think he's like the perfect guy to do um, the Predator franchise. If he does only, I will say this: if he does only have one left in him, I would rather it be live action than animated, just because I hate to be that guy that's like live action is more substantial than animation, but I think for something like Predator, it kind of is.
I
Um,
wonder if a sequel to Killer of Killers would be more of one story at that point, because now you've already introduced all the characters through the vignettes, or if we would go back to introducing more characters through vignettes. Because to me now you've got everybody on the
yeah.
planet. Now let's do a big story.
Yes, that I agree with that 100%. That's what it would be.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway,
So let's
by the way,
let's yeah, go ahead.
I went and looked up Third Floor. Apparently, they're more like an ILM style company. Like they're not
Mm-hmm.
actually an animation studio. So like it was founded by like ILM people who collaborated on Revenge of the Sith, and then they would like break off of ILM and form the Third Floor. And so they've worked a lot on Marvel movies, Detective Pikachu, a lot of Star Wars. Um, they've done they've done cut scenes for the Resident Evil games, Gears of War, and Destiny, and the Doom games. Um, but as far as like an animated feature, this is their first, which I think is really impressive.
Yeah, that's very impressive. Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to Badlands.
Yes.
Um, you tell me, should we do full spoilers or you want to keep it kind of vague since it just came out? Or
Um, do you plan on seeing this?
I'm sure I will eventually see it, but I'll probably also, don't spoil the ending of the movie. You can spoil some of it. Like I know there's like a Baby Yoda type character or something in there, and I've heard or something.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Not necessarily. That character's not around long enough, but it eventually does kind of become that.
yeah.
Um, so, uh, non spoilers. I absolutely love this movie. um, this is I as we're watching like the first 5-10 minutes of this movie, I lean over to Ben and I say, "This movie is so badass." um, what I saw that first trailer that everyone else hated, but I thought it looked pretty good. Um, and that's all I saw. So
Mhm.
I thought that Elle Fanning was the main character, and she was going to be like helping the Predator. She was going to team up with the Predator to do something. I don't know, but that's not it. The Predator is the main character.
Mhm.
This is kind of it's almost like a foreign film because the majority of the dialogue is in the Yautja language and it's subtitled.
Yeah.
um, so getting into semi spoilers, we'll say. It starts off with Deck. Deck is the runt of the litter on Yautja Prime. Um, and so he's training with his brother Quay, and it's one of those things where like Quay is very protective of his brother, but his brother just kind of, because he knows he's the runt of the litter, he has this chip on his shoulder.
Mhm.
And so they're training, and it's time for Deck to take his vow for a hunt, which is what every predator does. That's the original predator. He was on his hunt. You bring back. You bring back, your trophy from your hunt, and you become name of the Yautja. So Deck is trying to become Deck of the Yautja.
Mhm.
Um, and so his before he leaves, his father Jor uh, shows up and says, "Why is he still alive?" And Quay does not respond. Um, and essentially, Quay was supposed to kill Deck in his sleep because the clan can have no weakness, and Deck is nothing but weakness. He is a runt. He should not live.
Right.
And so Quay protects his brother, sends him off in the ship that's automatically going to where he was. He decided to take his hunt um, to fight this creature called the Kalisk, which is an unkillable predator that even the Yautja fear, and no one has ever survived hunting one. And so as he is escaping, Jor kills his brother Quay right there in front of him, and so the movie is kind of about him. Um, it's really weird. This is a movie that kind of like it makes you feel things for
Right.
this predator.
Well, right.
um, where like he's obviously like he's angry at his father. He is trying to prove himself. He's also grieving the death of his brother who protected him. Um, and then once he crash lands, he kind of has to deal with the elements of this planet called the Death Planet, where everything is a predator. um, and that's when he meets Elle Fanning, who he eventually finds out is a synthetic from Wayland Yutani. She actually doesn't have legs. um, so he makes like a pseudo backpack for her. So he carries her around, and Yacha hunt alone. But the way that he deals with it is this is a tool that I'm going to use. This is not a person. So I'm still hunting alone, essentially. But of course, there's a whole character arc that he deals with. This is the most relatable Predator that will ever exist, because he's the main character. And then they run into like this little monkey looking thing, which is probably the um, uh, uh,
The
maybe
Grogu of the cast. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and so now it's Deck, Thea, which is Elle Fanning's character, and this monkey they named Bud, who go off and they're trying to hunt this Kalisk, while also having to deal with other Wayland Yutani synths. Which this is the weird thing that I didn't know before yesterday. Actually, before Friday. This movie is PG-13.
Yeah.
I didn't know that, and it's very obvious why it's PG-13, because they're all synthetics.
Right.
So the just because a PG-13 does not mean that the kills and the deaths are not brutal and awesome. It's just the fact that they're bleeding milk.
Right.
So
Such a weird system we have.
yes. So yeah, I would say that's probably the first half hour, 45 minutes, and then Thea's having to deal with because she's been sent by Wayland Yutani to like use creatures to use the creatures of the planet to forward their own goals, but she's actually formed a connection with Deck, and Deck has formed a connection with her. But then her quote-unquote sister, Tessa, who is kind of like the main villain of the movie, who's also played by Elle Fanning. So we get a little bit of the Fassbender thing going on here, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. And so it's like I have to choose between my sister and my new brother. And so like this, I mean, this movie is just, it's one of those movies that come out and it's like, there's a good chance that this movie could suck. More than likely this is going to be it's a good movie that's passable. This movie is so much better than anyone thought it would be. It's one of those movies because I mean the script itself is just so tight, because like it's like a movie of callbacks as well. So like even something that you don't think will come back comes back like right before the end. And then once you find out why the Kalisk is, I kind of called it. Whenever they said that the Kalisk was unkillable, I kind of knew what they meant by that, which is very interesting. And then there comes a point where it's almost like almost like we're watching an alien movie, but from the reverse, because Deck is like there's a big Wayland Yutani installation on this planet, and so Deck is kind of he's hunting them, as if we're watching an alien movie but from the other perspective. And so yeah, I mean, like, and the action is fantastic. The creatures in this movie, some of them even kind of remind me of alien Earth creatures, which is super interesting as well. And yeah, I mean, I'm definitely trying not to, because there are definitely things, there cool reveals that I'm trying not to spoil.
Yeah, I think you've done a good job of getting me interested but not spoiling. So I think I think we'll stop the discussion there before you slip up and tell me something crazy. So
but it's a cool movie, and like it's one of those things where like it may also be callable and obvious, but like in the most satisfying way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, my brother and I have talked about that a lot. That we get tired of movies trying to shake things up or just give us something satisfying. I would take satisfying over jarring and disappointing. Any day. So.
Mm. There is one thing that I didn't have a problem with it. It was one of the things that I was like, okay, this is unexpected, but like I'm kind of okay, and I can't explain why I'm okay with it. Because I think it has to do with the relationship that he's building with Thea. There comes a point where Deck is like cracking jokes, but like, and so it's kind of weird to see a predator like crack jokes, but like that's the relationship that he has with Thea by that point, um and like, he may say a one liner or something like that, but it's almost earned because he's kind of a dick for like half the movie, because he's like, you are a tool, I use the tool.
Yeah. So this
um
is the Chewbacca C-3PO action movie of C-3PO strapped to Chewbacca's back.
Yes, yes, it is. That that I don't think that they even shy away from that. That is just exactly what it is. But
So if I have one wish for the universe, I hope and pray that Disney does not realize they own 20th Century Fox, because they have put out Aliens and Predators and even the Apes films. It seems like they're on the right path with things. And once Disney realizes that they own these properties, they're going to ruin them.
yeah,
So just
oh,
let them do their thing over here in the corner, and Disney, you worry about Star Wars and Marvel over there.
I will say one thing, because you mentioned it in the group chat. So there is a scene where the other synth Tessa finds Deck's crashed ship, um, and finds Deck's weapons on his ship, and there is a skull of the alien from Independence Day. Um, I, it's not like, it's not obvious. Honestly, if you didn't mention it, I wouldn't have been looking for it. I wouldn't have noticed it. If anything, I don't think that's setting up anything. I think that's just a fun little thing.
I I think so too, but I don't like everything being in the same universe. I don't like the idea that goofball Randy Quaid did that in this universe. It kind of hurts the universe thinking that you know it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I can see that. I think the other thing that does it for me is like I also recognize. I mean, because I've known the story for a long time. I just told you the story that Alien versus Predator was an accident because
Right.
they were just trying to put. Because so part of me can also be like, oh well, it's the Independence Day alien skull, but like they just needed skulls on the wall. They didn't. There's no connection there. They just needed skulls on the wall.
Now, if you want to put Stitch's skull on the wall, I think that's pretty funny.
That would be hilarious.
put Lilo and Stitch's skulls on the wall. There's a little
Oh
kid
no!
next to it.
Oh man, and what's and then it's and then it turns out that the I don't remember his name, but the whale, the orca alien is actually like a predator
Again,
species.
Gantu. Yeah.
Again, he's a predator species. He's part of the Yatja clan, and that's why he's got the weird pincer looking things. Um, I will say, there is um, there is a thing that kind of feels like Surf Dracula. Are you familiar with the idea of Surf Dracula?
I have never heard the term Surf Dracula.
Okay, so Surf Dracula is a term whenever, imagine we're in a world where Surf Dracula is a huge franchise and they decide to reboot it, and then he doesn't get his surfboard until the end of the movie. It's one
Okay.
of those. So it's kind of like
So
how
like
like Like
Right.
Daredevil doesn't get a suit until the last episode of season 1,
Or
kind of
if
like
they did an Indiana Jones prequel where he doesn't get the whip till the very end or something.
exactly.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of Surf Dracula in this, but like it's totally earned because like this is a predator without cloaking. This is a predator without the shoulder cannon. This is a predator without like it
Right.
basically he just had like on the poster where he has a sword. That's kind of the only weapon that he has. Um, but that's kind of part of it because he crash lands on his on this he crash lands and is separated from his weapons, and so it's almost kind of like a this is how I want a Breath of the Wild movie to go. Like Legend of Zelda. If we're not doing Ocarina of Time and we do something more Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, this is kind of how I want it to go. Is how this movie went.
So where does see now you got me all distracted? Where does the term Surf Dracula? Where does that come from?
I have no idea. It's something that
Okay.
Cameron told me one time. Uh,
Okay.
so my guess, if it was Cameron, it's probably 4chan.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like it sounds like a Simpsons reference or something.
You know what? I don't. Let me. We're gonna get live call right now because now you've got me. I've never questioned it because it's Cameron, and whenever he talks, I don't question him.
Yeah, I don't. So
I don't know.
confused. I kind of Googled it, but everybody's just kind of talking about it. The term, I don't see anything where it comes from. So it's probably just an internet thing. I just assume
I
it's just.
oh, I'm sure it's just an internet.
It's
Yeah,
probably like tvtropes.com.
yeah. So yeah, Surf Dracula. You all have learned something this week.
I'm so confused. You
But
kids
like,
and your 6'7" and your Surf Dracula.
but it's so weird because like I explain it and it makes sense.
Yeah,
you
I get
you
what you're
know
saying.
you know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, by speaking of 6'7", I don't know if you've seen this. Someone's because so it's the weirdest thing. I'm the oldest one in my friend group, but I had to explain 6'7" to my friends, and so then someone sent me. One of them sent me this. Domino's 6-7 offer starting today. One large pizza for just $6.70. Use code 6-7 at checkout, and it's real.
My favorite 6'7" meme is Dr. Evil going, "I'm hip, I'm cool, 6'7".
Oh man, that's like my favorite Doctor Evil scene because then he starts doing the Macarena. It's like
Yeah, doing it very badly. Yes.
oh man, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, so for me, I would say I saw 2 Predator movies this weekend. For me, I think Badlands was the better of the two.
There you go.
Yeah.
So next week we are going to be covering the classic Running Man from the 80s. I've seen it. Caleb has never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
That
I am.
also is
I
a
am
Arnold Schwarzenegger franchise. So
right. I am very excited for the Glenn Powell one. That one looks really cool. Which, from what I can tell, like I'm familiar with Running Man, the Stephen King novel, and
yeah,
so
I've heard this is more faithful to the
yeah,
book.
this one looks a lot more. I've seen clips of the Arnold one, and I'm like, that doesn't look like Running Man. The Glenn Powell one does. But yeah, I'm excited to watch both of them. I don't know. I might have, depending on how my week goes, I might have another double feature review next week because I might go see it.
Nice, nice. So that's our show for the day. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, I'll do all that YouTube stuff. And until next time, uh, I'm Final Monkey.
And I'm Caleb.
We'll catch you next time in the deep end.
See ya.